Hello, everyone. I just thought I would do kind of a kitchen sink episode. Um, so I've been working really hard on a lot of things, but I don't have a ton to show for it in a video. And so I thought this would be a great way to introduce you to myself, what the channel is, and all about my Creative Corner 3. So I do a lot of quilting, and you can see behind me I am working on joining the rows of the Granny Square quilt. It's the Great Granny Squared Quilt by Lori Holt is the pattern. It's a lovely book. I started this last summer in the middle of me being sick with COVID, and it's been a year almost. But during that time, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do everything. Oh my goodness. Sometimes when you get COVID, you like overcommit yourself, or you really think you can do a lot of things that you really can't do. And I thought I was going to have this done by the end of the summer. And I did. Lori Holt had a cross stitch that was a granny square. And in my little basket here are some of the projects that I've worked on over the last year, and I don't see the cross stitch. I thought it was in here, but it was a granny square cross stitch, as well as making crocheted granny squares. And I got overwhelmed because once I had gone to the whole sickness, I got a huge relapse in July, and creativity stopped. I'd lost my sense of taste and smell in May. We had a massive tornado, and I was just barely making it through work. So I've spent a lot of the last year doing a lot of rehabilitative exercise for myself, because there's really no program out there for people who have long COVID, which I do have. And so I started doing a lot of things to try to get the creativity to come back, being able to imagine this color palette, which I did use Pinterest as a jumping off board, finding color palettes. And this is based on Mexican embroidery. I love the combos. And then I picked up cross stitch because I had done it a long time ago. And then I realized I needed to sit down a lot. And so I picked up something I vowed I would never do again. Fast forward, I'm feeling better now. It's taken the whole solid year to start feeling better. And for June, I joined Fat Quarter Shop with their red, white, and June cross stitches. And they had this lovely stamp inspired cross stitch, USA stamp. Now, isn't that cute? It's on pale blue gingham, 14 count Aida. Love it. And then another pattern in a book that Fat Quarter Shop carries is Summer Memories by Susan Aki, and I chose Cherry Tree. Now look at this. It's got glitter in the actual Aida cloth. So it kind of reminds me of Christmas, but someone commented and said, wouldn't that be great to do it as a seasonal tree? Like maybe oranges, or in the fall you could do yellow leaves. Christmas, okay, I'm on a roll. That's what I've done with cross stitch lately. Been working on putting the granny square together, and I have the cross stitch. I long-armed 3 queen size quilts, and now they've come and gone. I'll insert some pictures at the end of the video so that you can see the custom work I did that was very therapeutic. I did 3 of them in about 3 months. So 2 of them were definitely a full month, and the third one is probably a little over 2 months. This one's going to take me 2 weeks to do. I feel like my long arming skills are back. It's all free motion, like doodling. I love doing Zentangle and doodle. And so that's the next part in this kitchen sink episode. I discovered that a lot of people are making collage journals. And I wanted to show you a little something I've been working on, because you get burned out working on quilts. They're long-term projects. And cross stitch is a little bit faster, but sometimes you need these shorter term projects that are inspiring. And so I've always wanted to be a mixed media artist. Okay, I'm not an artist. I'm a creative person. I like to make some things that might be considered art. But I was inspired by getting out in nature. And I am a big rock hound. Here's some of my rocks. Look at their coral. And that's a piece of coral. And I love being outside in the summer when I can. And so this week, while I was enjoying clean air after air quality issues and the beautiful sun and blue sky and the Great Lakes, I'm here. I didn't find this. My husband did and gave it to me. What is that, you ask? I'll throw some close-up pictures. He likes to crack rocks. This was in the middle of a piece of limestone. There we go. It looks like a piece of wood. It was embedded in that piece of limestone. And it got me thinking about nature, and that limestone I looked up is 3,000 years, 3 million or billion. Anyway, 3 probably billion years old. To compress all of that to make fossils. And inside, I want to imagine this is a piece of petrified wood. See, if you don't have an imagination, it's hard to create. And with all of this information and being inspired by nature, and I like to have a garden, I'm going to show you a few things that I learned. And I'm signing up for more free classes online. But making collages is going to be cool. It's also very therapeutic, but it's also very inspiring as I'm trying to visualize making quilts, maybe design a couple of quilts, maybe take some risks in color and textures. So this is what you do in between all of these projects, because sometimes you just get burnt out doing the same thing over and over, like stitching tiny little X's or sewing seams. And I'll be honest, I love rocks, but how many jars of these can I collect? But I got looking around my studio here, and I'm like, I have a lot of things that could be used as collage fodder, it's called. So I dug out some of my things, and let me show you some inspiration that I've had. And this will be probably a series of journeys that are going to show you what I've been working on, whether it's quilts, whether it's cross stitch. Sometimes I'll throw in pictures of northern Michigan. This part of Michigan is where I live, not the UP, because that's really cold and even snowier than what we get, and the beauty of nature, which is very inspiring. In fact, in my stories in the early spring and fall, occasionally winter, I'll show pictures of the elk herd that lives near me, or I'll show you pictures of cool things that I'm finding in nature. So let me show you my nature inspired, whether it's rocks, flowers, sometimes it's just the blue sky. I'll show you what I'm working on. So I just started getting things out because I realized mixed media is all about lots of different things. Media. I've got watercolors. I've got acrylic paints. Got my color wheel that's very old. I found a box of pens, some like calligraphy pens, Prisma pens, my journal that I did a flip through last week. I have leftovers from all kinds of projects. I've got like Bristol paper. These are artist trading cards. Bought those at $2.89. I wonder how much they are now. And all of this is inspiring. So I went ahead this week and I did some color washes on this piece of paper. And then I took my micron pens, and I had a size 10. This one's a 1. And I started just doodling on this paper different floral colors and tried to see, all these fun variations. I'm no watercolor artist, but the more I do it, the more I learn. And I did fussy cuts. Look at this. So here is, I'm just going to take a little still shot of this because I'm going to kind of take this apart. It's just laid out. I have a funky leaf. I have a couple of other leaves. Here's one like flower that I made. And then I just kind of made all of these. Look at how the variation of color and that turned out. And I tried drawing roses, daisies. And I used that. Doesn't that kind of look like a vase? Fodder. Look at it all. And I have tons of ideas. And I have a couple of books that I could use for the journaling. So anyway, I thought this would be cute to make like a vase, or I could get a real big circle, make it look like a modern vase, and just start building my bouquet or flower arrangement. How about this one? And I like that big one. I need some big ones and small ones. See, I did different sizes. Oh, look, I can have leaves poking out. Look how much fun. I could make anything I want. Oh, I could even put another circle on there. So I could hand sew something on here, stitch, embellish. Making fodder. That's what I'm doing. Just making all kinds of fun things. And I'm going to put them all in different, probably Ziploc bags in a little tote. And I have been having a blast. See, this one I put gel, purple gel in the middle just to kind of give it different colors. And I'm going to add a couple different watercolor variations. I'm going to try drawing first and then filling it in. This one I painted the background and then drew flowers around areas of the paint that I thought were kind of cool. See, I like that. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. Making collages is going to be a journey. And to make collages, you have to have fodder. So I'm just making fussy cuts out of watercolor paper, watercolors, and a micron pen. This is a size 10 because I found the other one was too thin. But I've got all kinds of pens. I can do all kinds of backgrounds, backdrops, and upcycle what I have. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. Very excited about it, and I hope you are too. If you're coming for the quilting and you're coming for cross stitch, I'll show you pictures of some of the still shots of things photos I took, because I also like to try to take some fun pictures here at the end and show you some of the work that I did. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time here on My Creative Corner 3, where we go where the quilting energy takes us. Bye now.